Paul Stanford, everybody. Clint Werner. Paul Stanford. Clint Werner. My name's Ungayo. This is the Deep Green Festival. Are there any questions for Paul? Did anybody have any questions? Any Bueller? This is all going to be on the final. All right. All right. You did great. You can go on if you want, because Chris Conrad's not here yet. He's here, but he's coming up here. I can go. What? No, Clint has more to say.
I just want to say that we really need to get legalization started immediately. Because one thing people haven't really thought about is if the Obama federal health care program survives the Supreme Court challenge, part of that is going to be consistent and mandated drug screening for everybody. And they're going to make you get tested for cannabis. And if you test positive for cannabis, they're going to refer you to treatment. And they're going to continue testing and treating you until they bully you into stopping. And that's why we need to get our foot in the door and establish legalization, because that's what's planned. You saw Obama said he wants increased workplace testing. There's going to be universal drug screening for everybody, and you're going to be forced into treatment if you don't get it legalized soon.
There you go. Personally, I feel if they're trying to drug test you at your job, you should quit your job. Or start a business, right? Start your own job. They do drug testing at my job. People bring me the drugs. I test them. No, I don't. I don't really. Did you have a question? What's your question, sir? Were you trying to promote a show? What would you like to say? What's your name? Ungai. Oh, from, yeah, all right. This is Eric Kotay, everybody. He wants to say a few words.
Hey, everyone. My name is Eric Kotay, and I'm an employee of the cannabis industry. And I just wanted to say that it can employ more than 1 million people if we really get on the ball. We need the tax revenue. Our cities and states and country overall is really failing. The pharma company, the alcohol industry, the tobacco industry, they're all against us. And we really need to come together and fight them as one. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Eric Kotay, speaking from the heart. We need more people like that. Talk to all your friends. Get them to realize it. It's an individual effort. Some of your friends may be on the fence. And this is the thing. Let me ask you guys this question. Here, Paul, take this microphone. Here's my question. Because we all have, look, we're in the cannabis industry, so a lot of us are used to just hanging out with people who want weed to be legal, who are very already proactive, who are already activating. But a lot of us also have friends who, while they think marijuana should be legal, they're not doing anything about it, right? They're like, well, I don't really smoke weed. It's not my fight, right? I don't have a dog in the fight. What's the best way to motivate those guys, to let them realize that it's in their best interest, in their best self-interest, even though they don't smoke marijuana, they should be on this side? What's the best way for that? Smoke a joint with them? No, I'm kidding.
Let people know about the economic impact of industrial hemp and hemp fuel, and about how the future of freedom really hinges on marijuana legalization.
How about the overcrowding in prisons? And most people are there for nonviolent drug offenses.
It's really about freedom.
So you couch it. I know, and that's something that they do in Oregon a lot. Not so much here in California, where it's all about like lifestyle and expression, and it's just part of the thing. In Oregon, the pro-cannabis movement is really on a, dare I say, almost libertarian, it's American freedom type thing. It's way smaller government. How dare you? It shouldn't even enter into it. Cannabis should just be something that people can do or not do if they want.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, they make it seem like it's un-American not to be for cannabis legalization, which
it really is.
I agree with.
George Washington and Thomas Jefferson were hemp farmers. George Washington wrote about it in his diaries, and he got special seeds that were psychoactive. In fact, he received a package of hashish from a guy in London, a doctor named Anderson. So George Washington wrote Dr. Anderson back, and he said that the artificial preparation of hemp I received is really a curiosity, and I'll have to make more time for it, just at the wrapping up of a long and laborious session of Congress. And he wrote his plantation foreman about receiving those seeds and separating the males out and just growing the females. So it wasn't a fiber crop George Washington was producing. Also, Thomas Jefferson
also say
invented
George Washington is the grandfather of Sinsemilla, then, if he's keeping the seeds out and just keeping the girls.
I don't know if it went that far, but he definitely thought that hashish was a real curiosity that he could make some more time for. He wrote that in his own letters.
I think we've all carved out time in our day for a little hashish at one time or another, right? Oh, we're going to smoke hash? Well, wait a minute. Let me clear the calendar.
We're going to be doing it soon.
And Thomas Jefferson invented a device to process cannabis fiber. And he published it, he said, anonymously in the public papers to forestall interloping entrepreneurs from slowing its progress into the hands of the common man.
So it's like open source.
Yeah, he was into open source of his new hemp bass decorticating device. And he patented
hemp bass decorticating.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds kinky.
Well,
it really just takes the fibers out of the hemp plant.
Yeah,
as
separates the bass from the herd.
The curds?
Herds.
The herds. Herd up. I'm kind of rambly right now.
So, yeah, marijuana is really about freedom. The marijuana issue is a smokescreen.
Right.
And the real issue is economic and political centralization. And they fed us the marijuana misinformation campaign to stop the progress of
the $1 billion crop.
The $1 billion industrial crop.
What's just some old-fashioned
synthetic subversion of our natural cycle.
How many billions of dollars a year can we save in just prison and court costs alone, Paul?
I think it's like $25 billion a year if we legalize
billion
marijuana,
a year.
according to Jeffrey Myron at Harvard University Economics.
That ain't hay.
Well, if you take the DEA budget and cut cannabis out, there goes another $100 billion.
And according to Clint, who never uses a microphone, if you cut cannabis, there's 2 microphones. If you,
is this one active?
Yeah, it's active.
Oh, okay, sorry.
If you cut cannabis out of the DEA budget, you can save another $100 billion. Now, okay, let me ask you this, because here's one of my things. As a cannabis user and part hippie, I often, one of my pet peeves is cats who always want to complain about shit but never want to offer a solution, right? So we're out here, we're discussing cannabis legalization, and one of the things that we have to keep in mind is, like Minkin said, never expect a man to understand you if his job is to not understand you. Right? So when we say you're going to cut $100 billion out of the DEA budget for cannabis interdiction, how are we going to employ those other guys? What are we going to do? Those guys all just lost their job. There's $100 billion, right? The government's saying they all just lost their job, so now they're going to be on the welfare or whatnot. What are you going to do? How are you going to retrain these people?
I got an idea. We only
have them grow weed. No, I'm kidding.
No, we spend less than $200 million a year fighting human trafficking in the United States. I think we should take the entire bulk of money from the federal infrastructure that's dedicated to ruining the lives of cannabis users and intercepting cannabis and dedicate it to wrecking the whole chain of human trafficking. Because we could really do a lot of good getting rid of human trafficking.
So the DEA would be like the dick enforcement.
They'd have to get honest work.
That is honest work. So there you go. Swords in the plowshares.
Yeah,
as it were.
Get rid of $200 million for human trafficking versus hundreds of billions against cannabis.
So you're saying we could spend $50 billion on that? Should make a dent. That
it would
really
make a dent. It would really do some good.
What do you guys think of that? Anybody even listening? 3 people over there at the Bang booth. Good to see you guys.
Bong.
Paul, did you have something you wanted to
bong.
say? Bong. You say bang, I say bong.
Yeah.
You say bang, I say bong.
All right.
Bomb, bong,
bong.
Bingo, bongo, bingo. Bang? See? They pronounce it bang. Although it's spelled bahong. It's actually pronounced Charday. No.
One thing, though, regarding your question about what we do to convince people to join our movement, I had a great experience recently. I went to see a veterinary physical therapist. She was working on my dog, and we were talking, and I brought up cannabis. And she says, oh, I've never smoked marijuana. I have no interest in it, you know. And I said, but did you know that there are these cannabinoids, and they mimic chemicals in our body, and they interrupt disease process? And she said, no, tell me more. So I said, actually, they found that these cannabinoids A small amount every day is the best known way to protect yourself from Alzheimer's disease. Tell me more. Within 5 minutes, I had given her the information to go get a card and told her to go to one of the good dispensaries and get some tincture because she doesn't want to get high. She doesn't want to smoke, but she doesn't want Alzheimer's. And nobody on this earth except the most extreme psychotic ideologues against cannabis is more afraid of cannabis than they are Alzheimer's. So if you take the science, the solid proof, and you convince people that they can protect themselves from cancer, that's why I put both of these names on the book, because people are scared of the big two, cancer and Alzheimer's. Tell them that prohibition is robbing them of an easy, inexpensive way to keep themselves in excellent health.
Inexpensive. Let's repeat that part. Cannabis, compared to lots and lots of other medicines out there, is very, very inexpensive. Okay, keep going.